Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast with me, Imperial Dane. Today we have for you a 1 versus 1 on Sturzdorf. Somewhere within Germany the British are approaching. Gasp and oh the horror. In the northern corner as the British of 30th Corps pushing into this fatherland we have Szabathehut, and in the south we have, as the courageous defender, Yona 1023 of Kampfgruppe Yona, there to hold them out and push them out of Germany, it seems. So, having done Sturzdorf before, let's just go over the particulars of this map. In the west, through the middle, we have 3 victory points. The western one in a small open area, the central one in a barrack area, more confined, and in the east among a series of warehouses. We have the 3rd victory point, a bit harder to get to for both sides and also easier to defend if properly fortified. In fact, a heavy machine gun right here will in fact be able to provide solid cover. Also noteworthy is the fact the large density of urban buildings make it in particular hard for Wehrmacht Volksgrenadiers to do much, since there are so many things blocking their lines of fire, meaning they won't be able to get off from their safe range long range, meaning American riflemen, for example, will have a certain advantage on this map. And of course packs and heavy machine guns will also find their lines of fire blocked. So then, let's get this started. Szabathehut moving out with his recon section, and the headquarters command truck already packing up no additional infantry. In fact, a rather risky start, but it seems like Szabathehut is with a plan for his 30th Corps troops and is moving out probably for a fuel point. In the south we see Saba going out for a free pioneer start and endeavoring many of the pioneers to set up a Wehrmacht quarters as quickly as possible. Will be interesting to see what he will be setting up, and Szabathehut seems to have his eyes set on this medium munitions point and is at the moment receiving absolutely no resources except for some manpower. Not entirely sure if that should be like that, but it does allow him to insane manpower income while moving his headquarters command truck to the next point, but he does have very limited capping power, and if caught very off guard because of this, it can grow very nasty. But so far Yona is moving out slowly with Kampfgruppe Yona, and a Opel Blitz being crushed beneath the large Bedford truck. Poor truck, it would seems. And something's on the way from the Wehrmacht quarters, but not sure why. Volksgrenadiers and the recon section is clearing up some munitions nearby, a medium munitions point as well. And to the north there's a low fuel point. So possibly, currently he has no defenses, but he is getting a lot of fuel because of this. And a lieutenant is on the way to boost. The recon section also sees some territory, but at the moment he is really low on infantry. And he does seem to be doing something to correct that, at least to protect his headquarters here. Yes, he seems to be going for something, I suspect, not sure what, and apparently he's not doing anything at all, oddly enough. Oh, there, a Vickers machine gun emplacement covering for the most part this entire area, although if someone were to be so mischievous as to move in from here it would be a bit negated, but currently he has been sneaky and set up shop here, controlling this 18 munition point. Continued seizure slowly by the Wehrmacht commanders. Volksgrenadiers on the field, but nothing else at the moment. He's not being awfully aggressive. Certainly has no idea that his British opponent is in fact in quite a spot of trouble if caught on the wrong foot, since he has very little to actually do anything with. Something on the way, probably going to set up a building. Or an emplacement, yes. I suspect, yes, a mortar emplacement. Going up here. Nicely protected from any direct assaults and able to bombard. Ensuring him a minimum safety zone, but Volksgrenadiers forcing the stop of that construction. Pioneers moving forwards and running into the biggest machine gun emplacement being suppressed. Volksgrenadiers seeking cover behind the crane. Recon section quickly pulling back, and it seems like Yona has forgotten this part of the map and isn't moving in. Although now Pioneers seem to be on the move. Possibly going to spot the lieutenant and gun him down. No, ignoring the young lieutenant and instead going for perhaps the munitions point or the strategic point. No attempt at pushing forward from Yona though. Being a bit content to just sit back. Volksgrenadiers moving in as well. Mortar pit going up again. Taking heavy machine gun fire. Once more, Yona does not seem to be reacting an awful lot. And currently Yona does have the territorial advantage. And going for a supply truck already. Probably going to rush for something which is certainly being enabled because Yona isn't pushing hard enough. Only has one of the 3 victory points within his territory. Probably something he should rectify, and certainly not doing anything to move up here and secure these points, thus cutting Saba off from most of his territory and population. So a bit too passive from the Wehrmacht commander for my liking, and certainly something you should avoid when fighting the British. Otherwise they will turn it against you if given enough time. Third attempt at a mortar emplacement going up. Quite intent on setting up a mortars to protect this nearby area, but now suffering some light fire, but that's not going to deter him. Supply truck moving out on the field, or support truck, not supply truck. Crashing some empty fuel barrels and a brick wall. Truck being quite heavy, and now the Volksgrenadiers are moving in slightly more confident now, but are now going to be facing mortar fire as well as a recon section, which is going to be very painful. No attempt at a coordinated assault at dealing with this. No MGs, no Pioneers with flamethrowers. In fact, further machine guns. A bit too content at just sitting back for my liking, when he has such an advantage. In the western half we have the lieutenant moving ahead, probably going to harass a bit. And Pioneers moving ahead in force 1 with a flamethrower it seems, and a Creek barracks going up for Yona. Let's see what he is up to. A half track. Certainly not a bad idea. Mortar pit firing away, but not really hitting anything at the moment, and the Volksgrenadiers slowly chipping away at it. Rifles not really being that good against the mortar pit, but certainly better than nothing. Infantry section again, recon, sniping one Volksgrenadiers, although 7 still left. 5 now once that one team has retreated, and sappers on the field. And further mortar fire now and full retreat from the Volksgrenadiers. Still no real attempt at anything aggressive though. A half track, for example, could be filled up with troops and drive in right behind the machine gun emplacement and then unleash flamethrowers and whatnot on the British positions, but does not seem keen on doing it. Recon section being suppressed by MG42 fire, mortar fire, trying to hit the other team, but a replacement takes care of that. And now a Bofors 40mm anti-aircraft cannon going up. The Bofors being a Swedish anti-aircraft gun. In fact, numerous armies use that one on both sides actually. Interesting fact I can't help but feel. Lieutenant on the move as well. Still very little on the British side. A captain on the field. Webley revolver in hand. overlooking the central area.
Gained the momentum on the field.
And we have the assault phase completed for the Wehrmacht. Nothing else out of the Krieg barracks though. Half-track being filled with something. Only one pioneer team. It's probably going to be used as a support vehicle then, although I would still recommend some sort of aggressive measures. Albeit the Bofors 40mm cannon will make that a lot more difficult and will tear that half-track to bits in short order. Then again, the Nebelwerfer, if he goes for the Sturmarmory, will be able to deal with that. And now filling it off with pioneers and flamethrowers and Volksgrenadiers, not stormtroopers.
We're losing territory.
And now we have Szabathehut dashing away, seizing the eastern territories. Half-track finding himself under fire from Piats. The spring-loaded anti-tank weapon firing away. Half-track suppressing the recon section, but staying a bit too close to the sappers. Rhino fire. Gunner out. Thrown out of the half-track as it tries to get away. Bad area it has found itself in, not much to maneuver in. Should probably eject some of its infantry to provide cover. Not doing so, and standing still. Oh, bad move, bad move. Volksgrenadiers moving in from the west, but not a good line of fire on this place. Machine gun team trying to provide cover. Pioneers burning away the infantry section, but taking sniper fire. Volksgrenadiers have not moved out, really should consider moving those out to provide additional fire. Volksgrenadiers surrounding the infantry of the British, and sappers continue to stalk the half-track, which crashes through crates and whatnot, trying to escape, narrowly avoiding the Piat rounds. And the sappers are now forced to retreat right through the Volksgrenadiers, possibly suffering a single loss or two. No, it does not look like that. And the cheeky lieutenant is at it again, harassing the rear area of Kampfgruppe Yona's troops. And now the victory point as well. Certainly not a bad idea, although again not liking this lack of solid force from Sabah yet. Then again is being enabled by Yona to do this, since Yona isn't really putting up much pressure on him. Sturmarmory, no, a Panzer Command in fact going up. Oh dear. Certainly would have recommended going for a Nebelwerfer and a Sturmarmory, but apparently that is not to be. A Panzer Command instead. Question is, will he go for Ostwinds or Panthers or Panzer Force? And we see at the same time the armor command truck is out for the British, and a Stuart light tank. The Stuart being an American tank, but the British giving it the name Stuart, since they had a tendency of naming all tanks from the Americans after Civil War generals. Fun fact. Pack on the field though, quickly putting a stop to the Stuarts